told you I have a brain injury. You're like Mazel Tov. Okay. Hi, guys. It's me, your girl, Linda Marcus Smith again. Yeah, I'm like a bad penny. Good luck throwing it away. This is like interview number 1120. These interviews are snippet interviews. This isn't the full blown 2.5 hours with Tommy Chong times three. This is a snippet interview, meaning you guys can be at home in your jammas, getting to know someone for a very short, succinct time and see if you like him, trust him, want to go support his career on social media, want to show up when he's performing. That's the whole point of this. The other side of it is I'm having people on who have been accepted into the prestigious Good Karma Festival that Frank Ignola does that on, well, he's doing it around the country. It's growing. It's like, I don't know, it must be in its 10th year now. I'm not sure. Facts are not my forte, okay, folks? So, anyway, I think you know me by now. So, today I have somebody here I'm going to get to know. He's got a 2.5 hour layover in said airport in said city, and I'm not sure where that is. So let's find out everything about what's up with him now. How did he grow up? When did he become funny? You know the drill, the normal stuff I always ask because I'm nosy and I got no life. So call me, boys. I'm kidding. I don't like boys. I like old men. And it's getting harder every year to find them alive. Okay. So now for my guest. He's sitting over there being patient, which is abnormal for a comedian. It's hard for them to keep their mouths shut, in case you haven't noticed. Anyway, let's bring on our guest, Declan Brooks. I hope I pronounced the first name correct.
Oh, it's okay. That's actually one of my favorite things to do when I get on stage is say my name. It's Declan Brooks.
Declan.
Yeah. Yes. Don't worry
Now
about it.
that sounds Scottish.
It's actually really Irish, I think.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
You're good. I think it's both all the northern tribes of England, you know what I mean?
Well, I think that America needs the Declan.
I agree. 100%.
So tell
Um
me, you're in
yeah,
a said airport. What airport are you in, Declan?
I'm sitting in Charlotte right now actually. I have a layover going out to Minnesota. I travel for work. I work in a regional training position, so I end up having to go to different cities like every other week or every couple weeks in a row,
What
and
do you
that's kind of
train?
where the comedy. I work in construction for gutter protection. Like well, that's a easy way to simplify it. Gutters, pretty much gutters and outside construction, like fascia, soffit, siding, etc.
Wonderful. Okay, so remind me how to pronounce your first name.
Declan.
Declan. I'm going
hmm
to get it wrong and I apologize in advance. I'll try to remember Declan.
Don't you worry about it. It's a normal thing for me. It's actually like probably how I started becoming silly growing up because everybody said my name wrong.
So you're in Charlotte. You have a layover. You came from what city today?
Philadelphia. So I live in the Philadelphia suburbs in Delaware County. I grew up in South Jersey. Spent most of my life in South Jersey. Went to Widener University briefly and ended up kind of staying in Delaware County. Lived
Nice.
there. I lived there with my partner Christina. We've been together 7.5 years, going on 8 years. We have a 10-month-old son and a couple dogs.
Kind of dogs.
Yellow Lab Shepherd and a poodle that I found running around West Philadelphia.
Oh, good for you. So
Yep,
do the two of them get along famously?
famously like water and sugar.
What in the world? Okay, so let's talk about little Declan.
hmm
What were you
I
like? Wait a minute. Let me ask the questions. What were you like growing up in your home and young in school? What were you like as a little kid at home and at school?
I have always had what my dad would call diarrhea of the mouth, or gab. I've always been a talker. I've always been a person that's kind of like, social, a social butterfly. I'm always very communicative. I'm very bubbly. I'm a singer. I play music. I sang in choir. I was in musicals. I played sports. I talked to everybody. I talked everybody's ear off. So spent a lot of my time talking. I definitely used comedy as a like defense mechanism because I had a goofy name and I was chubby and definitely wasn't the best looking. So I definitely used deflections with comedy.
Good. That's awesome. You know, I never met anyone from Pennsylvania who wasn't a good talker.
Where am I talking to you from, Linda?
I want you to respond to what I said. What do you think about what I just said? Everybody in
I'm,
Pennsylvania is a good talker. What do you say to that?
I mean, I would say everybody's a pretty fast talker, or they mumble. I know I'm a mumbler.
No, you're a great talker. But I'm telling you, when I lived in Philadelphia for like a whole 6 months, I never ran into anybody who couldn't hold down a good conversation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel like it's normal to sit next to somebody on the bus and talk to them.
Yes, it's so great. Okay, so you grew up in South Jersey. What particular city are we talking? Or
Um,
cities?
do you know, do you know Mullica Hill?
No, but other people out there
It's
will.
around. Yeah, I'm sure. So, like, I lived in East Greenwich growing up. Usually, like a landmark people know is like Mullica Hill because it's off of 322, which is like a normal route down to the Jersey Shore from PA, and most people going down there. Um,
Oh, great.
I grew up in East Greenwich. We actually had moved from Philadelphia. My dad worked for the regional rail systems my whole life, and he moved from Philly to South Jersey, and we grew up there in the farms.
Wonderful. Okay. And so as a little kid, you were a talker and you had diarrhea of the mouth. You said your dad said that. So that's at home. And then at school, what did your teachers say about you as a little kid? Grade school.
I think growing up, I definitely was like sweet as sugar and tried to suck up and was always trying to be the good kid in the teacher's eyes, in their eyes. You know what I mean? Tried to tried to be the person that was in between that. There's no way he could be doing wrong. And I definitely hung out with all the bad kids that I could in between all that.
Were you a practical joker?
Yeah, I'm a silly by nature. I really am. I think I've always just been a little silly. I was always joking around. So, um, I don't think I was like getting any jokes done at school, but I definitely wasn't scared to sit there and laugh the whole time until I got yelled at.
What's the silliest, stupidest, weirdest, hardest, stupidest, scariest thing you ever did in school?
Oh, I used to paint my face every Friday in middle school and elementary school because I was a sports player, be the kid with the most spirit in school.
I love that. What sports did you? I'm guessing wrestling, football.
Yep, those two definitely. And then I played baseball.
I got it.
Yep, you were right. Perfect. Right on the nail.
Usually I have to see somebody's whole body, but judging from what I'm looking at there, like I was a scout for sports and I would have put you in
Gotcha.
wrestling and football, just looking at what I'm seeing right now.
The pudgy head. I know it.
No, no, I see the bulk, and I think you'd be great at wrestling.
Yeah, no, I loved it. Those were definitely the sports I played growing up. My dad coached us in baseball growing up, and I wrestled and played football. That's how I ended up at Widener University. I played for a year.
What position did you play in football?
Offensive line. I was a tackle and a guard.
Nice. How was their record when you were on the team?
Um, when I was in college, the team I went to was nationally ranked. In high school, I went to a state championship my senior year, and then I think every year before that we sucked. To be honest with you.
So talk about your wrestling. Let's hear a little bit about that. There's a lot of comedians out there that are big wrestling fans and a lot of
I
lot of people.
oh yeah, I love wrestling. I definitely you know what it was is that my parents let us try every sport when we were little kids, and I wanted to definitely wrestle my whole life. And my parents decided when football season was over, they were like, "Hey, we gotta have a break until baseball, so no wrestling for a little while." So when I got in high school and when they had a bus that would take you home, I said, "Mom, Dad, you can't tell me I can't wrestle anymore because the bus takes me to practice in school now." So um I I
That's
definitely
good.
loved wrestling. It got me in better shape. It made me a better person because you got good people around you, good programs teaching you. It was a fun sport for me. And then I definitely, for one, I got kicked out of school one day because I was wearing I think it was Tiff Tamlin. It was the wrestling shirt where this woman had her huge breast out at school, and I got kicked out of school for a day because they were like, "You can't wear that to school."
Oh my
I
gosh.
definitely I loved Stone Cold Steve Austin growing up and uh and Kane and all them, Wrestling's definitely one of those things. It's hard not for a goofy chubby white kid growing up. It's hard not to get into wrestling.
How hard is it for someone that's a mainstream wrestler or a mainstream boxer to get into the UFC fights to even be interested in it? Me personally, my dad was a boxing promoter, so and a manager, so I can't get into UFC. But what about you? Have you been able to really enjoy it and appreciate it?
I think I have because when I grew up, my dad used to watch Friday night fights on Showtime a lot. So like I did grow up watching a lot of Friday night boxing. And I feel like boxing isn't as popular as when we were growing up. So I'm 28 for my like age group and the people I hang out with a lot. It seems like UFC is the fight that's on rather than boxing. So yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. I love that stuff.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So, okay, so we know a little bit about you. We know about you. You're a trainer for like gutters, and you train people how to do that work, or is that it?
Yeah.
All
So
over the,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
in what part of the country do you travel to with your job?
So I have a region that's specific to the Northeast. Like I would normally go up from like Philadelphia to Maine, but the position that I'm on, there's like a team of 14 and like 150 offices nationally. So I do work in kind of like a jack position where they'll send me anywhere, which is where I'm going to Minnesota today. I would normally be in my northeast stretch, but I volunteered to go help out in the Midwest. So I'll
Super.
go. I've been to Oregon in the past month. I've been to Nevada
What?
in the past month
We're
and a
in
half.
Oregon. Wait, I'm from Oregon.
I was in Portland. I was staying in is it Tatooine?
Where?
Uh, is
Tualatin.
it Tualatin?
Tualatin.
That's what it is. I stayed in Tualatin for a week.
Yeah, awesome. That's cool. So it's been pretty icy out there. Were you there during the inclement weather?
I had just beat it out. That last storm that just came delayed me a couple hours, and then I had 3 flights home on the last trip out. But I get with most of the rain out there. That's what I got to feel.
When you travel, do you hit up mics and get on shows?
hmm That's it's kind of how it started. Is I wanted to try comedy, and then you know the anonymity is alluring. How can you not just go up on a stage and act like you don't know anybody and tell jokes, right?
Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, so you went to Oregon. Where else have you been across the country? Name off all the places you want.
So I've never left the country, but I've been in most of the contiguous United States.
Wow.
In the past probably 6 months, I've been in like Oregon, Nevada, California, Missouri, all of the Northeast. I go to Maine very frequently. I go to the Virginias and the beaches and like Myrtle Beach a lot very often. I got to spend a lot of the end of the summer actually in North Virginia and Norfolk. So um, I got to go to Nashville a little bit this summer too. I've been trying to pine over my boss to send me to Austin, but fingers crossed I get to take a trip out there in the next couple months. But I've been very spoiled in the fact that I get to go to really cool cities and get to try this all over the place.
Yeah, that's so great. It's great for your comedy at night.
Mhm.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so you signed up to be in the Good Karma Festival. How many other festivals have you been in?
This is actually my first festival, so
Hey,
this is
kudos.
my thank you. I've been doing comedy for a little over a year and a half. I spent a year, getting wrapped up into it, and then after the first year and getting comfortable, I was like, I'm gonna start putting my name out there, and Good Karma welcomed me with open arms. So I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Way to go, Frank Vignola. Okay, so that tells us a lot. And it was attractive to you because it's going to be close to your where you live, or What attracted you to it when you saw it? You said, that sounds good because why?
I would say that I like the advertisement of the multi-state option of it not just being like for instance, like I work in that globe trotting position for work anyway. So like if God forbid, I couldn't make it based off schedule, maybe I could have made the schedule work for my work week for that the festival. That's kind of like how I looked at it first. But the other part of it too is that like it seems like I knew a couple of the comedians on the list when it came to people to that had like been recommending it or that were sponsoring the event, putting it on. And I was like, all right, well, those areas and those locations sounds like places I want to go out and perform at. So that was definitely the big part of it. A lot like what is it? Is it Phantom Power or Church of Satire? They're doing a show in Hanover. A couple of those locations I was really excited to hear about possibly performing at. I like Rehoboth Beach where I'm performing, so I'm pretty excited for that. I have some friends and family down there, so definitely excited to get to go down there, perform, see the ocean, etc. It had a lot of positives. I was pretty attracted to it. I felt very thankful to get selected for it.
Wonderful. That's awesome. So, what day, time, and location are you going to be performing and doing your competition?
Okay, so I will be performing on February 28th, which is Wednesday, at Clear Space at 7 o'clock. That's in Rehoboth Beach.
It's where?
I am part of in Rehoboth Beach.
What state is that in? I'm lost.
I'm sorry. Rehoboth Beach is in Delaware.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. Wow. All right. And so if people want to get tickets, I haven't asked this of anybody else, but how do they get tickets for the Good Karma Festival? They go on the website?
So I would recommend more than anything right now. All the flyers do have a URL that's on there. If you see the flyers, it does demonstrate a URL to go to. But my best suggestion is go to, Google, type in Good Karma Comedy Festival. There is a website as well as there is a Facebook page. Both of those places direct people to where the shows are at. Both of those all those locations have tickets set up for a very easy e-store to purchase your tickets from.
Great. Thank you. Okay, so now that we're near the end of saying goodbye, and you guys at home got to know him, and I'd like you, please, to tell everybody how can they help your social media numbers? Because we know out there for comedians, it is a bear to get booked with low numbers. So let's see if we can help you with that. Where are your
So
socials?
I really appreciate that, Linda. So my social medias, you can find me on Facebook at my name. You can find me on Instagram at my name, Declan Loves Meatballs. You can, thank you. You can also find my podcast page, 555 Let Me Call You Back. I do a podcast with my brother weekly, where I actually kind of wrap up and talk about all the comedy that I do all over the country and catalog all the different places I've traveled to. So, but that would really appreciate. I would really appreciate it. A lot of people went to at 55 Let Me Call You Back or at Declan Loves Meatballs and find me there, and you can find all my funny stuff and anything else I'm doing.
Wonderful. That sounds like a fun podcast for people to listen to.
Yeah, it is. It is a really fun podcast. I started doing it a little bit after I started the travel, and it's been really fun getting to keep track of where I've gone and what I've been doing. So,
That's so cool. You and your brother do that. That's
mhm,
awesome. Keep it in the family.
absolutely.
Is he thinking about doing comedy, Declan?
He has for years. He wants to. He's the shyer one. If I'm the social butterfly, he's the social elephant. He's very quiet, but he is an audio and video engineer, and he's really professional when it comes to editing and software and everything. So that's where he shines.
Oh, great. That's awesome. Well, it's been lovely getting to meet you. And thank you so much. I know what it's like at an airport trying to do this. Thank you so much for adding this to your already existing stress of travel.
No, this is a really nice break. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you so much, Linda.
Absolutely, Declan. Declan Brooks, everybody. Follow him. Here's what I need two things from you. Please go to my YouTube and subscribe. It's comedian and then my three names. And then type me a Facebook message with all your socials that you just said.
Okay.
And if it's just one message with all of them, I can cut and paste and throw it on here so it's in one spot. Easy.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much, Declan.
Thank you. You said follow you on YouTube and then send that message to the Facebook or to the YouTube? I'm sorry.
Yes, send me one message with all your socials so I can cut and paste it.
Awesome.
Because I
Thank you
have
so
a
much. This was
brain,
fun.
my brain is fried.
No, you're perfectly fine. This was fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Declan. Declan